Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. We're halfway through the week already. Cannot believe it. Time is a-flying when you're having some fun. Coming up later today, we've got a guest, and my guest today, let me see, we're going to be talking about kitchen remodeling. It's one of those rooms in the house where you always want it to look really nice. So I've got Sarah Fishburne coming up later in the program. I'm going to be chatting with her about how to make sure your kitchen looks top-notch. Take a listen to this. Dueling is legal in Paraguay as long as both parties are registered blood donors. That sounds like a pretty good reason.
What?
Yeah, you can duel.
Oh, duel.
Yeah, dueling is legal as long as both parties are registered blood donors, because chances are one of you is going to need some blood. Maybe both of you is going to need some blood. Also, did you know house cats are clean and their coats are dry and glossy? Their fur can easily become charged with electricity, and sparks can be seen if their fur is rubbed in the dark. So if you got
I have seen that before.
So if you got a kitty cat, pet that cat tonight and see the sparks. And finally, the average woman will spend nearly 1 year of her life trying to decide what to wear. Yeah, that doesn't happen to me. Here's how I make my decisions on what to wear. What still fits?
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been doing it lately, too.
Yeah, I don't have as many choices as I once had. Coming up, some special things for today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, October the 19th. Today is Evaluate Your Life Day. It's a good day to do that, to evaluate how things are going. It's also Hagfish Day. What the heck is hagfish? It doesn't. It does not sound delicious.
It doesn't sound delicious at all.
International Overload Day today. Medical Assistance Recognition Day today. Unity Day. And Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day. I think that's a good day.
That is a good day.
I've been involved in Chamber of Commerce activities for many, many, many years. I think that's a good thing to get involved in.
It is.
And for those of you that are members of your local Chamber of Commerce, today is a good day to call them and say, hey, just want to say thanks. I want to support you. So there you go. Again, Support Your Local Chamber of Commerce Day is today. Of all of those, I think that's the only one I'm going to celebrate. I'm not even going to try to have hagfish. It could be delicious, but it doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
They need a special day, and they need a different name. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. It says people like to feel, quote, at home when they're sick or near death, but do they really need to feel at home once they're dead? There's a funeral home that thinks so. Did we just talk about this?
We did several times, actually.
No, I don't know about several times, but I think we just talked about this one. Yeah, because this is where the guy said
Put him in a
bed and 2 end tables.
Yep.
So how did I get ripped off and get the same story
I have
again?
no idea. You're the one that does the research.
Like a week later, here we got the same story. Well, for those of you that didn't hear this when we talked about it one other time just recently, I don't have time to grab another story now, so I don't want to rip you off and not do a story. Here, you know what we'll do instead of this? Because we just talked about this. Let's talk about something that I did the other day that my wife thinks is ridiculous. I bought a pair of suspenders.
Oh, my gosh.
I am shaped very funny, where my waist is bigger than everything below my waist. So when I wear, even if I wear a belt.
I can't think of a single item of men's clothing that is less of a turn on than for a larger man to be wearing suspenders.
Okay, but here's the thing. I wear it under another shirt.
I don't care.
You wouldn't even know I have them on. You wouldn't know I have them on, other than the fact that I'm not pulling my pants up all the time anymore.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you're telling me you're more attracted to my Crocs than my suspenders?
Okay, I said men's clothing.
I'm going to die over here. Come on.
I don't know who wears Crocs.
I am going to have to come up.
I can't even. That's not gender specific.
I love these. They're comfy. So I'm going to wear Crocs and I'm going to wear suspenders on the same day.
Oh.
And I will walk out in the street and somebody will swerve to hit me. That's what's going to happen. So there you go. Anyway, she does not like my suspenders. Here's the cool
No.
thing is I clip them onto the pants.
Oh, yeah.
I hook
just
'em up.
like a toddler.
And
it's awesome.
the cool thing is, Heidi, my pants are no longer falling down, which
That's
is nice.
fantastic.
And I got this shirt on over the top. You can't even see
or you
them.
can wear a belt.
I've worn a belt, but I'm shaped funny. You can still pull my
Well, then
pants down.
change the way you're shaped.
Okay, I'm working on that. Not very well. But
No.
the suspenders were the easy answer.
Oh, my gosh.
And you know that's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Luke Schreider is charged with assault on a peace officer for hugging a policeman. I think this might be just a bit much. Now, again, here's the thing I want to say. First of all, I love our men and women in uniform. So I'm certainly not trying to come down on the wrong side of this. But take a listen and tell me what your thoughts are. Authorities say the drunken 21-year-old was told to get away. When Schreider said an officer, quote, looked like he needed a hug, end quote. Officers then say Schreider didn't take the hint, embraced the officer, and hugged him. That is when the long arm of the law put cuffs on the drunk man and arrested him for assault on a peace officer. He was just giving him a hug. But again, there's a fine line because if you just walk up to a stranger and hug them, that could be assault as well. If you just walk over and hug somebody that does not want to be hugged and flat out said, because he said, I don't want to be hugged, so that would be assault, even though, the least assaulty kind of assault because he just gave him a hug. So I can see where both sides would have an issue here. But again, I'm still going to come down on the side of the law because he didn't want the hug. There you go.
I wasn't there, so I can't have an opinion on this.
He was extremely intoxicated, and I don't think he knew what he was doing. So there you go. Moment of duh.
If he came running at the officer to give him a hug, I mean, we don't know what went down.
A flying
He
scissor
could say,
hug?
I was only trying to give him a hug, but
Yeah.
who knows how this
Yeah.
man was behaving. So
Don't
I
know.
find it very hard to believe that he got into this kind of trouble just because I need a hug.
Yeah, it was in
There's
Iowa.
no way. I'm
Iowa
sorry.
City. So who knows? Coming up, we've got your moment of duh. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
People who listen to the John and Heidi Show are more inclined to hear the John and Heidi Show than people who do not listen to the John and Heidi Show.
That would be true.
Yeah. Now, if that sounds kind of like talking in circles, take a listen to this for your moment of duh. According to research, psychiatric patients who have hallucinations in which voices command them to hurt others are more likely to be violent toward other people than
my
those
gosh,
who do
how
not.
stupid. I think we've talked about this before too, but this is insane.
In other words, if you hear voices telling you to hurt people, there's a study now that
Probably
says
going to hurt people more than people
Yeah,
without
you're-
voices telling them to hurt
you're
people.
more likely to hurt people. This was discovered during a government-funded study. So there you go. Normal people look at this study and say, really?
Did we need a
You
study?
think we needed that?
Yeah.
So you're telling me if I'm hearing
These
voices
are insane.
and having
These studies
hallucinations?
drive me nuts.
I know. It's crazy. And the sad
What
thing
a
is
waste of taxpayer dollars.
somebody's paying for that. And it's
Yeah.
probably you and it's
It's
me.
us.
So there you go. Hey, guess what? Moment of duh is done. Scoop of the day is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Science has finally proven what passionate poems and sappy songs and romantic novels have been telling us for ages, Heidi. True love exists and never dies. Psychologists have scanned the brain of old married folks, and they discovered that many of the spouses' minds lit up just like randy teenagers at the sight of their mate, even after more than 20 years of wedded bliss. Lead researcher Arthur Aaron says the findings go against the traditional view of romance that drops off sharply in the first decade, but we are sure that our results are real, end quote. What do you think of that? You think that the longer somebody's been together, the Does it depend if I'm wearing my
Depends
suspenders
on
and my
whether or not
Crocs?
their spouse is walking up to them in suspenders and Crocs, I suppose.
Hey, just leave me alone in my choice of decision. Earlier in the program, we learned that, what was that up here? It said, the average woman will spend 1 year of her life trying to decide what to wear. And I said, I don't need that. I don't need any time. I just choose what fits.
It's very clear that you spend no time thinking about what you should wear.
I just say, oh, that's here. I'm going to wear that. And you're like, really? We're going out. I'm like, I know. Hey, there's no holes in this. I can wear it.
Wow.
Hey, if you're already behind the curve, you might not want to even start thinking about Christmas shopping. It says you're behind the curve already if you haven't started thinking about it. Let me phrase that the right way.
Actually, that's not true. I have one gift.
Is it for me?
No.
Okay, I'm not getting anything, am I?
No. Not as long as you're wearing Crocs and suspenders.
Just for the record,
Might get you some new shoes and a belt.
I am not currently wearing the Crocs, but I am wearing the suspenders, and they're awesome.
You're wearing the suspenders with your Zubas?
No, not with this. I mean, this time of year is what I'm saying. Throwing in another brand here.
You meant right.
Not right now. Hey, you're already behind the curve if you haven't started thinking about Christmas shopping. It says Thanksgiving. If that's when you start, you're way behind. 34 million people have already started their Christmas shopping. 1 million claim that they're already done. I mean, they're completely
I used to be that way.
done for this year.
I used to be completely done before my tree was even taken down from the year before.
Well, the report says...
Remember that?
I do
Every
remember
year
that.
I was done. Everything was wrapped.
And she the best part was on Christmas, she'd be like, what do we get you? Because she couldn't remember. It's like, I have no clue what I got these people. And it was all stuff from last year when it was on sale. So
yeah, because that's the cool way to do it.
Well, if that statistic makes you feel like a Scrooge, you're not alone. 73% of Americans are annoyed by early shopping seasons. Retailers who have to start their holiday seasons earlier and earlier to meet the customer demands. So what do you think about all this? I've got a story on our Facebook page. So the thing that I just took me 3 minutes to share with you, you can read that in like 12 seconds on our Facebook page. So what is the deal?
I don't have a problem with early shopping.
It's taken me
I
a while.
really don't think that they need to deck out the whole store in order for people to get started earlier on their shopping. I don't think people need to see Christmas trees to get their shopping done early, but I do think it's smart to get your shopping done early.
Well, there you go. So if you want to get your shopping done early, you can start. There's a lot of places that have that stuff out already. All right, timing is everything, Heidi. When it comes to armed robbery, it's even more important. In Rutland, Vermont, an armed man approached 2 restaurant employees as they were making their night deposit at a local bank. However, the robber was thwarted when employees informed the crook that they had already dropped off the money. So the robber left empty-handed. He caught him at the bank, but we just dropped off the money. We got no money left.
Right.
So if you'd have been like 15 seconds sooner, you'd have been rolling in the dough. But yeah, you snooze, you lose, man. Meet you back here tomorrow, same time, same place? Probably not. All right, this is going to do it for your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice too at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We got a special guest joining us today. We're going to be talking about ways to make your kitchen look a little better without spending a whole bunch of money. Maybe get a couple of great ideas on designing without spending a ton from a design expert, Sarah Fishburne, and she is the head of trend and design team at Home Depot. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you on the program. You're a world traveler, and you're a style scout, and you've got all kinds of ideas to inspire us. Tell us a little bit about some of the fun stuff that people are doing these days in their kitchens.
Yeah, so this is absolutely the perfect time of the year to update your kitchen because we're getting into that really busy decorating and holiday season where we're going to be entertaining a lot of people. And you can do anything from a full remodel right now, and you'll have it in time for Thanksgiving, to also just doing small updates from refacing the cabinets, the countertops. So all of that is possible right now. and we still have the time for that.
Now, the kitchen is one of the most important rooms. When you're selling your home, that's one of the rooms when people come in to look at a place, they always say, oh, wow, I really wish that it had this, or I really wish that it had that. You know, I'll watch the TV programs where, you know, they're selling homes, and the kitchen really matters.
It does matter. It's definitely the first thing people look at. It kind of makes the decision if you're going to buy that kitchen or not. And we're definitely seeing that really be played in when people are remodeling a kitchen. What is going to have legs, what's going to have longevity, and what's going to stay around for a long time.
Now, what are some of the things that people can do to make their kitchen more functional and more beautiful? Are there some little tricks that you have up your sleeve?
Absolutely. So the first thing people, when they meet me and find out I'm an interior designer and they're remodeling a kitchen, they say, what's trending? What should I make it look like? And we're definitely seeing the white kitchens continue, very tonal, very soft palettes. But I always remind them it's also about how the kitchen is going to function for you and your family. And you can do little touches that will really make it really easy to use. And one of my favorite updates for a kitchen is adding a Delta Touch 2 faucet, and one of my favorites is Dominic, and all you have to do with a little tap, it turns on and off. So think of your hands being dirty in the middle of cooking something. You don't have to worry about touching it and turning it on.
That's a cool idea. So it's like a faucet from the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Your faucet can definitely be an added feature that makes it easier in a kitchen.
It definitely can. And I can tell you from experience, we've had kitchens in homes that we've lived in where, you know, the faucet was a good faucet and it was awesome. And we've had them where they were, the faucet wasn't so awesome, and it does make a difference. You don't realize how often you use that until you have one that's kind of funky.
Absolutely. You do use your faucet all the time in a kitchen.
And that's not a real expensive thing to change out, is it?
It's a very inexpensive thing as an update. So there's definitely smaller things that you can update, from a new faucet, just hardware can make a big change, updating your lighting, and maybe you just want to do a new countertop. And that can make a world of difference, or adding a new backsplash.
Now, when people are looking at countertops, what are the hot things nowadays? Are people still doing, you know, marble and granite and that kind of stuff?
So countertops is definitely a huge decision in a kitchen, and it's going to take the brunt of most of the wear and tear in a kitchen. And we are seeing a shift away from granite, and quartz is now the most popular. And it's because of the durability. It's scratch resistant, stain resistant, antimicrobial, and it comes in a wide range of colors that are trending that really look like natural stone. A beautiful example is Silestone Pietra from Constantino. It's that white, soft palette that really looks like a stone, but it has the durability of a quartz.
When you're working on remodeling your kitchen, sometimes there are things that are up to you and there are things that are not so up to you. You know, the things that are up to you, you might be able to pick out which faucet. You might be able to pick out, you know, the type of countertops. But if your home is limited in space and you've got kind of a small kitchen, there's not a whole lot you can do to change that. So what can you do to maximize the amount of space that you have in that room?
Yes, space is definitely something that is considered one of the big premiums in a kitchen, and getting the most out of that for storage. And we're really limited in that footprint that we have. And a lot of times people think about width and how wide they can go with cabinets. But one thing I like to point out that people don't maximize, and it's a great little trick, is go taller. We usually have more vertical space, so you can do these taller upper cabinets, and that actually will gain more storage options for you.
That's a great idea. And when you think about it, there's usually a lot of space above the counters, and there's things that don't get used as much. So in a smaller space, that's a great idea to go up.
Yeah, it's we sometimes forget about that.
Sarah, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us today. And I know there are people listening that are probably going, you know, it's about time I update that kitchen. So hopefully we've given them some fun ideas.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Again, our guest today, Sarah Fishburne, and she's the head of Trend and Design at Home Depot. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shape.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
You're lacking chains and you feel no pain. Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/DuelRocks.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Walt Disney was afraid of mice. I don't know if I believe that.
I've
because
never
we
heard
just
that.
watched the movie Walt before Mickey, and in that movie he had a pet mouse.
But just because a movie says that doesn't mean
I
that's
believe
true.
the movie because it was It was heartwarming. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites. So there you go. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The shortest war in the history of the world lasted less than an hour. It was between Zanzibar and England in 1896. They surrendered after 38 minutes. They're like, okay, we really don't want to fight. I mean, you killed Fred, so we're done. That's all. That's all we need. We're done. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There were 13 couples celebrating their honeymoon on the Titanic. Oh, that's kind of sad.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's not such a fun fact. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
To be born on Sunday was considered a sign of great sin during Puritan times. You have no choice over what day you're born. Like, hold it in. Wait till Monday. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
During his entire lifetime, Herman Melville's timeless classic of the sea, Moby Dick, only sold 3,715 copies. So nowadays, that is considered a classic.
Yeah.
But while he was alive, only 3,715 copies had sold. That's kind of sad.
It is sad.
During his lifetime, it wasn't a success, but now it is. Coming up, we've got some more fun stuff. We're going to talk about coffee. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Legally, we gotta have insurance. That's why getting the very best rate is paramount. I'm Jared Parsons. I founded the first national and virtual insurance agency. Until now, you were limited to the agents in your area. But what if the rates are better somewhere else? At Parsons, we shop around and we get you the best rate. It's that simple. Go to radioinsuranceguy.com. That's radioinsuranceguy.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Seems like about every other day we have a story talking about coffee. Half the time, coffee's good.
Sometimes it's bad.
Half the time, coffee's bad. Let's see what we find out today. I just read that there was coffee in the story, and I didn't read it because I want to learn right along with you.
Okay.
It says, folks who drink a lot of coffee are more prone to hear voices and see dead people and have other kind of hallucinations than those who steer clear of caffeine, according to a new study.
But it says who drink a lot of coffee. What's considered a lot?
Oh, I don't know. It
Like
says,
a half a cup?
Psychologist Simon Jones and his colleagues at the Durham University in England examined 200 students, and they found that heavy caffeine consumers, which is 7 cups of coffee or more per day, okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I used to drink more than that, but that is a lot. They were 3 times more likely to have extrasensory experiences than others. Caffeine induces the brain to produce a hormone called cortisol, which has been linked to hallucinations. So they're saying that by drinking that much coffee, you're increasing the cortisol hormone in your brain, which is helping you have these hallucinations. So if you want that, just 7 cups of coffee and you could be there. If you don't want that, you might want to steer clear of 7 cups of coffee and then you won't be there. So how much coffee do you think you drink in a day?
Not even a full cup.
Two cups? A cup?
No, not even a full
Like
cup.
on a day where you drink a lot.
Because I get a cup and I bring it into the studio and I start drinking it, and by the time I get even about halfway through it, it's cold, and I don't like cold coffee, so I don't finish it.
I have my cup here. If I fill this, how many cups would that really be? Like
That's
3?
like 3.
It's a big cup.
Cups in your one cup there.
And I don't like hot coffee, so it works good for me.
And I like it very hot, and once it starts to get beyond, once it's even just warm, I don't care for it anymore.
How are we married? I mean, like, everything I like is the exact opposite of what you like.
Opposites attract.
That must be what it is. I mean, you're
For
gorgeous.
example, I hate Crocs and suspenders.
Would you leave my Crocs and my suspenders alone? And now my Zubas too? It's not nice. Do you see what I put up with here? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner or the person in charge of advertising, I have a special offer just for you. We're doing a jingle special this month. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? How would you like to be the name in your industry and have people singing your song? We've worked with hundreds of small businesses to create their own musical image, and we want to help you too. Reach out right now and we'll give you $500 off. Squeeze it into this year's budget and get results for years to come. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Here's an interesting way to propose to somebody with a vacuum tube.
What?
Yeah, a Czech banker used Prague's underground vacuum tube postal system to propose to his future wife. He sent the message in a metal canister through the 19th century underground tubes and pipes at about 20 miles an hour. The system was built in 1899. It's still used today by corporate clients. And here we thought getting Czechs through those bank tubes was kind of a modern thing, but they've been around since 1899. Are you kidding me? Anyway, Czechoslovakians have been doing it for over 100 years as a mail delivery system, and this Czech banker shot a thing through the tube to his fiancée, and that's how he proposed to her.
That's sweet.
It is so romantic. Do you think he got down on one knee before he shoved it in that tube?
She wouldn't have known.
I don't think so. That's not a good way to propose at all. All right, coming up, we've got some more stuff. We're going to talk about some smelly stuff from the sea. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
A company off the western France coast discovered a special power from seaweed. They say it can combat two of the scourges of adolescent life, acne and dandruff. It's kind of cool. Those are two things that nobody's going to miss. One of the researchers said, one day I was so fed up with it, I decided to analyze it to see if there was anything we could do with it. And we found antibacterial molecules. We tested it against dandruff and acne, and we found it was very effective. The molecules that nestle inside the tough tendrils of the algae that's there in the sea are it's so potent that 2.2 pounds will make 1 ton of acne cream. That's a lot. He said his 5-strong company has patented this ingredient in Europe and the U.S. and Japan and hopes it will hit the market soon. So there you go. Or kids, you could just jump in the water and rub seaweed all over your face. Mm-hmm. So 2.2
You know what else it cures?
pounds. What's that?
VD, because you're not getting any action if you're covered in seaweed. So it's all kinds of perks.
Why do I even ask you when you? I should know this is just a trap. I should absolutely know that from now on. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about ways to stop wasting your money. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Election day is almost here. No matter which side you're rooting for, you now have a place to get informed and to truly voice your opinion at PoliticalStorm.com. An amazing resource with information from people on both sides of the aisle, all in one place. Watch videos, read blogs, listen to podcasts like mine, and read fun editorials. You can also contribute with your own blog for free. Be a part of the community at PoliticalStorm.com. You have a choice, and now you have a voice, too, at PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. I've got some tips to help you stop wasting money. 5 major ways people waste money, and these are areas that you'll never fret about spending again. Sure, from smart money. Now, I got to tell you this, first of all. I don't know that I agree with all these, but these are the ones they came up with. So you need to understand, didn't I say 5?
You said 5, yes.
But there's only 4 on this list. So 5, what is number 5?
Crocs.
Would you just
and
stop
suspenders.
it? No. So let me rephrase that. Here are 4 ways. 4 ways you can stop wasting money. I edited number 5 off the list.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't mean to. So number 4 on the list says cell phone early termination fees. If you want to change your carrier, just trade your service with someone else. Sites like Sell Trade USA can help do that. I didn't know there was such a thing. So I guess there's ways out there to not have the termination fees. Didn't know anything about that. At the office, granted, we're paid to work, so the workplace isn't your local, your logical money pit. The answer, though, is are you taking advantage of all the benefits that your employer has? Oh, that's a good idea. So if there are benefits that you have available but you're not taking them, you are missing out. So there you go. Next one, brand names at the drugstore or the supermarket. There are many, many, many things where the supermarket brand is just as good. And when it comes to drugs, they're exactly the same. I mean, it's exactly the same with just a different name on it. And then the last one on the list is new cars. It says cars depreciate fast the first 2 or 3 years. So that new car smell costs you about 30% more than the same car that if you bought maybe that was 2 or 3 model years older.
Absolutely true.
So
just buy an air freshener.
But here's the thing I got to tell you. If you like the new car smell, it's worth every penny of it.
No. Because you can buy that new car smell air freshener.
But there are some people that want to have the new car. And for those people, get the new car. That's up to you. You do your thing. So there you go. From Smart Money, they're talking. Oh, I bet the other one was lattes because it says something about fretting about your lattes. So that must be drink coffee at home, apparently. I deleted it, so I don't know what it was. I really got to quit doing that.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. We've got some good news coming your way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. You ready for some good news, Heidi?
I am.
I think you read this online because I think you were the one that told me about it, but what did I do? I searched the internet. That's what I did. I searched high and low to find this story about Tim Tebow. His first game for the Scottsdale Scorpions in Arizona Fall League last week is one to remember, but not for anything that happened on the field.
I saw this.
His less than spectacular performance on the field ended in a very spectacular, miraculous moment. As Tebow stayed to do some post-game interviews and sign some autographs for fans, he was made aware of a man who had fallen sick in the stands. The former NFL star turned baseball minor leaguer ran to the side of ran to the side of Barry. That must be the guy's name. See, it doesn't have his name ahead of that. Reached down and placed his hand on the sick man as he bowed his head to say a prayer. Witnesses say within seconds after he was touched by Tebow, the man jolted up and grasped for air, coughing loudly. Tebow stayed with the man until EMTs were there to administer care. How cool is that?
Isn't that a great story?
It is. That's why it's our good news. If you'd like to read more, I don't know what the guy's first name is, but apparently his last name is Barry. It doesn't say that in the story, but it just says later in the story, for no particular reason, he ran to Barry's side. So, wouldn't you usually tell me who I'm talking about first?
Usually.
Maybe I edited that out too. Who knows? It's a great story, though. And again, like I said, it's at our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And here's the cool thing. It's not like Tim Tebow has magical powers that you don't have. It's the power of prayer. So the cool thing is I've seen that happen with people as well. So it is a very, very powerful thing if it's used properly. So there you go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.